Between a failure and a great person, sometimes the only difference lies in how they treat something invisible: time. Have you ever met someone who is smart, full of potential, and has the whole world ahead of them, but ends up stuck in place because of one habit: procrastination? In a quiet little village, there was a boy just like that. He was not a bad kid and he never hurt anyone, but he had an invisible illness: laziness. He postponed everything important, ignored all advice, and believed he still had plenty of time. Today's homework? He would do it tomorrow. His dreams? They could wait. But later is always just a shadow. The more you chase it, the farther it slips away. Even though his parents and teachers did their best to guide him, he let time pass by with indifference. While his friends moved forward, he remained stuck, falling behind without even realizing it. Then one day, a wise man appeared in the village. He did not wear silk robes or a crown, but he carried something more valuable than any treasure: wisdom. The village buzzed with excitement. Everyone wanted to meet him and hear his insights. The boy, who deep down still wanted to rise above his peers, also came to see him. But what he was looking for was not growth. He was after a shortcut to victory. When it was his turn, he bowed his head and whispered, "Please help me. I feel like a failure. All my friends are better than me. I want to rise above them. I want to be the best. What should I do?" The wise man looked at him with gentle eyes. He did not scold or judge. He simply replied, "My child, your problem is not your intelligence, but the way you underestimate time. Let me tell you a story that will change how you see life forever." And so he began. Once upon a time, there was a king known for his kindness and generosity. He ruled not just with laws, but with his heart. People loved him for his fairness and the compassion that was rarely seen in rulers. But very few knew that before he became king, he had a childhood friend, one whose life later took a completely different path. One day, as the king was visiting his people, he happened to run into that old friend. But instead of joy, the reunion brought sorrow. His friend was now frail, dressed in rags, with hollow eyes filled with bitterness. He had no job, no belongings, and lived under the judgment of those around him. The king walked up to him, called his name, and asked with concern. The man lowered his head and spoke in a sad voice. "Your Majesty, I do not understand why my life has turned out so miserably. I have applied for jobs many times, but they all shook their heads. Everyone says I am lazy, always late, and unreliable, but I never did anything terribly wrong. I just always thought there would be more time, so I kept waiting." The king looked at his old friend, thoughtful for a moment, then said, "Do you believe that your entire life could change in just one day?" The friend's eyes widened in confusion. The king smiled and continued, "Today, before the sun sets, I will open the royal treasury. You may take anything you want: gold, silver, jewels, as much as you can carry, as long as you take it before the sun goes down." The man was stunned. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity lay before him like a dream. He dropped to his knees, thanked the king endlessly, then rushed home to get ready. His wife, overjoyed by the news, urged him to go immediately so he would not miss the chance. But he shook his head. "Wait, I am hungry. Let me eat first. There is still time." His wife sighed, but still prepared him a hearty lunch. After eating, he lay down on the bed, mumbling, "Let me take a quick nap to recharge, then I will go grab the gold." What seemed like a quick nap stretched into 2 full hours. When he woke up, the sun was already leaning westward. Panicked, he grabbed a sack and ran out into the scorching heat, but after just a few steps, he was gasping for air. A gentle breeze blew, trees cast cool shadows. So he paused to rest for a moment, and once again, he fell asleep, this time for 4 more hours. When he opened his eyes, the sun was nearly touching the horizon. Terrified, he clutched his bag and sprinted toward the palace. But it was too late. The sun had just dipped behind the mountains, and the massive gate slammed shut before his eyes. Standing there, breathless and defeated, he realized something. No one had stolen his treasure. He had let it slip through his fingers himself. The story ended. The boy sat in silence, as if every word from the wise man had pierced straight into his heart. He said nothing, but the arrogance and indifference in his eyes were gone, replaced by clarity. For the first time in his life, he understood that what he had been losing all this time was not opportunity, not talent, but time. The most invisible yet most precious gift every human is given equally, every single day. He bowed his head and thanked the wise man with all his heart. And from that day on, he began to change. No more hesitation when something needed to be done. No more excuses to put off what really mattered. Every morning he woke up earlier, worked harder, lived with clearer purpose. Little by little, he became someone his teachers could count on, his friends respected, and he himself began to enjoy the journey of becoming who he wanted to be. That is life. None of us knows how much time we truly have left. But one thing is certain. We always have enough time for what truly matters, if we do not waste it. Time is quiet. It does not scream when you ignore it. But once it slips away, it never comes back. And the price is always heavier than we expect. Some people miss a train because they were just 1 minute late. Some lose a scholarship for being one exam too slow. Some miss out on a relationship because they never found the courage to speak up. And some stand before the gate of their life's treasure, only to realize it has already closed. So how will you choose to live? Will you step back because of delay? Or will you move forward step by step, day by cherishing every moment? Remember this, if you treat time like a friend, it will open the way to success, peace, and happiness. But if you take it for granted, time will quietly slip away and take with it the most precious things in your life. So live today as if there will not be a second chance. And if this story touched you, do not keep it to yourself, because someone out there might also be sleeping through their very own treasure.